Hey guys, this is Cindy over at Paper Old and New. I'm coming to you today with a new 12 by 12 video and a little bit of a cough. So I will try to edit coughing out, but I'm not making any promises. Anyway, this is not a video I watched. I know I told you this series was going to be, like, I'm going to be going around, and when I come across a video of something that somebody's done with 12 by 12 paper that I find really cool, I was going to, like, reproduce it and bring it to you on this list. Well, this was something that I did because I have been saving up Amazon packaging. And I finally got down my pile of packaging, and I trimmed it up and made soft journal covers out of it. Well, I mean, uncovered soft journal covers out of it. So, as you can see by what I'm doing here, and as you can probably guess, we are going to be using an entire piece of 12 by 12 paper, and we are going to be making the base for, I've been trying to keep my hands clean. No more of that. We are going to be making a base for a journal cover. Okay, so this one is like that. Okay, now the only reason this has got some directionality to me because you can see the stem in the bottom of that flower, so that's why I said this one probably would go this way. As you can see, there's a nice wide swath here to cover with fabric or more paper if you want, however you want to cover it. I think I would probably do fabric. And then, as I said, the inside, you will then cover however you wish to cover it. I will be showing you how to do the base. It's not hard. Looking at these, you guys have probably already figured this out. But basically, you take a 12 by 12 piece of paper, okay, and a piece of Amazon packaging. Now, my packaging, as you can see, it's got all nice straight edges, and it folds evenly, and it's nice and pretty. It doesn't come to you like this. I had to trim these up. So they are 9 inches tall at the spine by 6.5 inches wide. Okay, so that's my journal cover. And basically all I do is I take this piece of scrapbook paper, line it up. Obviously, if you have a trimmer, you can do this on a trimmer a lot faster. You just cut it at the 6-inch mark. Right in half. Just cut it right up the middle. Okay, and you've got 2 pieces of 6 by 12 paper, right? Okay, now since my journal is I've already determined that the best way to do this is to have an overlap on the 6.5 inch side of about 1.25 inches. So I score at 1.25 inches on the 12-inch long side. And then when I turn this on the 12 inch side this way, I'm scoring at 1.5 inches on either end because my journal's 9 inches tall and I've got a 12-inch piece of paper, right? So we're going to score at 1.5 inches here, and then we're going to score at 10.5 inches here. Okay? And that just allows for you to have a nice fold when you get your paper started to wrap around your cover. So we're going to score this one. Again, down the long side, we're going to score it at 1.25 inches. Now, obviously, all your foldovers, because I'm making the short ones wider than the long one, all your foldovers, turn it and score it at 1.5 inches, are not going to be even. Your foldovers are not going to be even, 10.5. But since we cover them up, it doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to put this out of the way. Okay, the next step. I go ahead and fold on my score lines just so that I know. And somehow I scored. How do you score crooked? Okay. Not really sure how I did that, but we'll straighten it up. I think I just folded it too fast and missed the score line. Okay, the next thing I do, and this is preferential, I'm sure you've all covered journals before, so you probably have a method of doing it. I cut these corners out. I don't need them. And I'm looking for less bulk, so I just cut these out. I hope you guys are liking this 12 by 12 paper series. I'm, like I said, my thought behind it was just to collect a whole bunch of these all in the same place. So that if you had some 12 by 12 paper and you needed a place to go for ideas, you know, there's a whole bunch of ideas in one spot. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, this is the easy part. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put glue all over the inside. Now, as you saw, this paper is directional. It's got newsprint on it. So I just have to make sure I put them both on in the same direction. Or the back of my journal, because that's the one I would make upside down, would be upside down. Okay, and you just line it up within the folds. Okay, and you glue it down. Easy, right? Now we're going to turn this way. And glue it down. Now, when I was looking for scrapbook paper for, you know, what I wanted to use for this, I looked for scrapbook paper that was somewhat, what's the word, generic? I don't know that generic is the right word, but it had a relatively basic background. Okay, now right here on these corners, just to get rid of some of this, I usually take it and cut. I go from where these connect and I cut straight back to the corner. And it gives you kind of an angled corner there. And sometimes they don't cut all the way down. There we go. Okay, and then just glue that flap down. So anyway, as I was saying, I selected papers that were, that could be considered semi-neutral backgrounds. They could be used for multiple possible themes, or at the very least, they could be covered and they could be decorated. Okay, that's going to go that way. So this is my back. So I have to make sure that I put my paper right side up. So it's going to go on like that. Okay, so again, we just put glue all inside here. Get our paper in there, our cover. Okay. Just like that. And we're going to glue our ends down. I'm getting glue all over my mat. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I do it anyway. Because I get in here and I start working, and I don't even think about the fact that, hey, you need to get your glue mat out. I just pull it, stick it down. The other thing is once you get the hang of this, if you get a pile of paper that you want to turn into covers because you've got like a whole pile of these mailers like I do, you just pick a whole bunch of scrapbook paper and you can do the, you know, the cutting and stuff all at once. And then you can, you know, just mass cover a bunch of these. And you'll have a bunch of little soft, and I like the way these feel, and they crinkle because they're that, you know, they're brown paper bag paper, craft paper, you know, and they've got, I had the one that was ripped. It's not bubble wrap in the middle. It's like little pieces of foam. Little dots of foam. Almost like flattened versions of those ones, those foam circles that are on 3D stickers. There's like a whole bunch of those dots in between two layers of craft paper. And that's how they make this packaging semi-padded, is to put a bunch of that foam in between. I don't know what it's made out of. And apparently, you know, these are recyclable. So it can't be, I don't think they recycle styrofoam. So, I don't know what it is, but it makes for a really cool feeling. And it crinkles, and it's just a really nice cover, right? So that would be the front. So that's one, that's another one done. So that's two I've got so far. Now I had picked out some other papers up here. Like I told you, I picked out a whole pile of different kinds of papers. And, you know, you can do this out of just about anything. Let's do this one. This looks like fun. And you just decide which way you want it oriented, because remember, you're going to have a front and a back. And once you've cut it in half, like, say I like this for the front. Well, maybe I just turn it that way. But I mean, if I couldn't get what I wanted on the front the way I wanted it, like, what if I want that flower on the front? Like this one. So I can cut this at my 6-inch mark, right? Let's cut it. And then, of course, because they're the same size, I can just swap them, right? So if this is my cover, I can put this on the front and I can put this on the back. And I still get the cover I want, right? Now, granted, like 1.5 inches of that's going to get folded down, but you get the idea. So let's score these. How do I want to score this? I guess we'll score it this way. So 1.25 inches down the long side. And 1.5 inches. Now, every once in a while, you'll come across a piece of scrapbook paper that is not exactly 12 inches. And of course, you can make your adjustments as necessary, or not. Like I said, the inside is going to be covered. And from what I like at least 1.25 inches. So as long as you can get at least 1.25 inches all the way around, as far as I'm concerned, that's a good amount to fold over and hold really well. I think some people will go down to 1 inch, and that probably will work too. But I mean, so, because usually scrapbook paper, if it says it's 12 by 12, it's like 11 7/8. I mean, it's not usually off by much. Oh, wrong tool. Okay. 1/4 inch. Half inch there. And I mean, sorry, 1.5 inches there and 1.5 inches here. And this works with, this is paper, like scrapbook paper. This was a lightweight cardstock. It'll work with cardstock. I've done a few that are with the heavier cardstock scrapbook paper. So, I mean, this will work with any of that. It's just, obviously the heavier cardstock's going to stiffen your, cover a little more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I'm just stating the obvious, I suppose. Okay, if this is the front, this is where we want this one. And like I said, so these can be made, obviously, in any style. I mean, and you can mass make a ton of these. If you have a stack of scrapbook paper that you're trying to go through, and you like the patterns, but you don't know what to do with it, and you think it would make good background paper for a cover, I mean, if you think about it, and you look at it, and you go, I could decorate that up as the cover of a book, then by all means, grab a whole bunch of it, and, oh my goodness, guys, that was my scissors. I'm just lucky it didn't hit my foot. Okay. Pull it. If I didn't get all the way up to the edge of this of the fold, like tucked into the fold with the paper, for whatever reason, I try to pull it tight against the bag. So if that redoes my fold, then so be it. But I want it to be tight against the bag. And as you can see, once you get everything, the idea in your head and everything that you want to do done. Excuse me, I gotta go get my scissors. These go really quick. I mean, they don't take any time at all to just throw together. And they would probably take even less time if you did, you cut a bunch of pieces of paper in half, and then you got your scoreboard out and you did all your scoring. And the scoring, of course, is optional. I mean, you can just take the paper and glue it down, and you can eyeball it, glue it down, and then do the folds yourself. I mean, obviously, there's no requirement for the score. It just made it easier for me on the folding. It gave me straight folds. I just like doing it. But everybody's different. If you don't want to pull out a scoreboard to do this, don't. All right. And then, like I said, the other thing that this allows for, these clean, if you trim those and you get this little angled corner here, the other thing that it allows for is if you want to get a piece of scrapbook paper that kind of coordinates with this and you want to cut it so that you have a border, you could put a piece of paper in here and leave, some space so that this shows. And if you've got this nice and cleaned up around here, then, that makes it easier for you to allow for that to be a decorative piece. So that goes that way. That's our front. Okay, with the big sunflower and then the medium one. And of course something will go down here, so he'll be cut off a little bit on this side too. I don't know, it might end up being the back. Who knows? I flip it over and it's not like this particular page is directional. So once I get it done, I might look at it and go, you know what? I don't like it like that. I'm gonna flip it over. I get a little more, obviously you get a little more leeway with the non-directional papers. And then, of course, you make a topper that fits on the cover really nice. And, decorating done, right? And I suppose you could also, connect a couple of these if you wanted to. I mean, you see me, I've been doing a lot of flippy accordion type books lately. So, the thought is always there for me to Well, what if I wanted to make this thicker? And it doesn't even have to be accordion style. Like, my other thought was to take 2 of these, decorate the front of this one with half of it, and decorate the back of another one with half of it, and then glue the 2 together like this. And you end up with like almost a 2 cover flippy journal, and you can make this pocket in the middle. So, I mean, lots of possibilities. And I have a ton of these, so, you know, we could try that. Let me see how much time we've got. Actually, these are going really fast, so. Glue this last piece down, and I'll grab another. I have a whole pile of these mailers all trimmed up and ready to go this size. I like the size. It's nice and common. It's easy to use paper on. So here's another one. So, and you could you could do a bunch of them together. I mean, so this is our sunflower journal. Sorry about that little. So that's this one. I say sunflower journal. On the brain, guys. On the brain. But that's that piece of paper. And like I said, if I don't like this orientation, I can flip it over because this is not directional. Okay, so that's another one made. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter needs lunch. Okay, so what I was talking about before was taking 2 of these. These happen to be my last 2 of this size. I did make these in several sizes, but I talked about taking 2 of these and gluing them together. The thought behind that, you might still want to take some generic paper that you don't, that you don't mind not seeing. Like, so some, you know, some of that scrapbook paper that we have that we're not really sure what to do with because we don't like the pattern on it. Yeah, you could hide some of that in this. But you would put it inside on the inside here. So let me see. I'm sure I've got some. I mean, Lord only knows I have a ton of scrapbook paper, so I've got to have some that I don't like. Okay, sorry about that. I was off hunting paper that, like, I will probably never use that. It came in a preschool pad that I didn't use it all up, so I have some leftovers. And it is going to kind of fold around. So I don't want this side showing. So I'm going to wrap it in the back. And what we're going to do is for the piece that the reason this is going to use 2 pieces is for the piece that we're doing that's going to be the inside of my, that's going to be my pocket. We're going to totally wrap the page. We're going to try and get as close to the spine as possible without interfering with the fold, and we're going to totally wrap this page. Okay? So, with that in mind, I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to put glue all over the outside of this. And this is going to be done very similarly to the way we do the outside pieces, except we're not pre-measuring or pre-cutting. So this is a good way to possibly use up some of that, you know, like I said, some of that unused scrapbook paper from a pad that you probably will never use, you know, like that. So I'm going to flip this over and we're going to try and get it as close to the edge as possible. Maybe with a slight overhang just so that it's definitely not interfering with your fold. Okay, now this is going to be, oh, and I folded it on the Look what I did, guys. Okay. Faux pas that you make, and then I'll have to do something else with that. Hold on, let me get another piece. I have more in here, trust me. Here, we'll use this one. Okay, let's try that again. This glue is probably not sticky anymore, so I'm going to have to go over it again. Talk about wasting a bunch of glue. Although this time I can go a little further back from the edge. So, like I said, we don't want to interfere with the fold. Here I go using up a ton of glue again. Okay, now let's try this again. So I want to glue to the colored side because I want to use the white side as my liner for my folder. Okay, get my rag. Lots of glue on here. Now for these ones here, I'm not going to worry too much, but I am going to trim this. Obviously, I don't want to fold all of that over. I mean, it will fit. You could if you wanted to like reinforce this some, but remember, you're going to end up covering this with something anyway. So it's not like it's a necessity. So I'm probably going to do like we did for the cover, and I didn't exactly center that, so I'm going to cut a strip off of here. So I have a card. I can whatever with that. Use it as scrap. Okay, and I'm still going to take my corner out. Even though there's no folds here, you kind of have an idea where it is. All right, and then let's glue these over. So we're going to glue the ends, just like we did for the outside. These ones obviously don't have score marks in them, so you're going to be doing your folding all on your own. Just make sure you get it all the way up to the edge. Kind of push it down. Make sure it's folded good. And we'll do the other end. Now, obviously, if you have this packing and you really want to, you can string as many of these together as you want. Once again, this is one of those, how fat do you want to make it kind of a things. Because if, you know, I could put 3 of these together, each with their own signature. You know, signature tucked in here and a bunch of them stuck together. Again, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the outside, and I'm going to cut this. In this case, I'm just trying to get rid of some extra layering. But in the same token, I want the edges completely covered, so I don't want anything showing. This also holds the bag together, because like sometimes when you cut down these Amazon packages, like a lot of these are large mailers that I cut in half. So it was like one mailer and I got 2 covers out of it. Okay, so when you do that, you have some that don't have a folded edge like this. So a finished folded clean edge like that, you get them a lot of times with this open edge, and you've got to close it. Unless, of course, you want to make it into a pocket. I mean, that's also a possibility. Just like you would with an envelope. Okay, now, that's that one. And we're going to go up against this one. So we need to put, are those not the same height? Maybe once I get the cardboard wrapped around it, it will be. This is cardstock. This is actually a cardstock rather than So let's get, I'm pretty sure these were the same. These were the 9.5, or 9 by 6.5. This also is one of the ones that's open all the way around for the most part. It doesn't have any folded edges. So this will help hold the edges closed. And you're going to have a nice, hefty, thick pocket. So you can stick something, you know, pretty substantial in it. Or stick lots of stuff in it. Or, you know, however you want to do it. Okay, again, we're going to cut some of this off. We're going to cut out our corners. I think it's funny whenever I'm making these videos, I talk about keeping them short, right? And then I look at it and I say, oh, we're making good time. And then instead of making good time and doing that, I add to the video. Now, those two will go together. And they aren't the same size. Well, isn't that just aggravating? I don't want to trim it because I've folded it. Well, that's just... I feel like you get the idea, though. You kind of get the idea. I don't want to glue those together because now I'm a little... I don't want these to be... I don't want these to be together because they're not the same size. And it's kind of bugging me. Because I really was looking forward to doing this. Take a breath. And think. I think we could still do this. What we'll do is... the back is going to be covered in fabric. Actually, the back doesn't matter. The top of the pocket is what needs to be even. The bottom of the pocket, I can glue it together... and then cover this bottom piece with like some decorative fabric and, you know, whatever. So we can fix it in the decorating. Isn't that what we always say? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this. So we're going to glue this down this side. Actually, I should probably put glue on the shorter one. Because I'm not going all the way to the bottom. So we're going to put glue down the side. Across the bottom and up the back. Okay, here goes nothing. And again, the sides and edges of this can all get covered in decorating. So like if I want to put a piece of fabric along there, I can. If I want to put something, anything, whatever along there. Because this is making a nice, this is making a very hefty pocket. It's very thick. I'm going to put some clips on it just because it's wanting to come apart. I love these clips. I'm going to have to get some more. I used them just recently in a cover that I was making. This corner wants to come apart, so we're going to put one right up against the corner and right up against this corner. I might move that one down some, this one down some. I just want to make sure everything is stuck. Good. Okay, now, actually, I can take this one that I've scored and we can use it as our cover for this journal. That's a very heavy interior piece. which is funny because the outside covers won't be as hefty. There's nothing to say you can't make them as thick. Like if I wanted to beef that up, I think it kind of defeats the purpose, but... All right, so let's fold these. I'm kind of liking the idea of this really chunky center. I don't know why. It's just... and I think I am going to make this piece the front. And then this will be the decoration on the back. Because the front cover gets decorated, whereas the back cover sometimes gets left plain. So I think I will use this as the front and let that flower decorate the back. Just like having anything else in your stash, having pre-made covers that you can grab and say, ooh, this would look really nice with these signature or this signature that I made, or, you know, because you can also pre-do signatures. You can have a box of, you know, stuff just already ready to go. The idea of that really appeals to me because I think it would make the journal process a lot faster if you just sat down one day and mass made signatures, and then you sat down one day just pull your stash out and just start pulling stuff. I mean, look at all the covers that you have, write down all your measurements, figure out what size you want your pages to be, and just start making pages. Just start, you know, making signatures. Okay, we're going to clip this quick. I'm coming to the end. Oh, I tore it. I'm coming to the end here, guys, so... Excuse me. I'm trying to keep the coughing at bay. Okay, so that's the front. Now I'm hoping, yes, that this can be the back. Okay, so let's do our folds and our cuts, and then and then I'll show you all the ones we made, and we will be done. This was just an idea to get some covers started. Now, obviously, you would go through your fabric stash or whatever, however you want to cover your spines. I left the spines kind of open because once you get this part done, the spines are kind of up to you. Fabric, paper, slow stitch, fabric collage. I mean, there's tons of things you can do with a spine, right? Okay, so we are almost done. This is great. I had a ton of fun doing these, and I'm probably going to do more because, like I said, I'll show you this. It'll be one of the things I show you is my stack of Amazon mailer covers. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on both ends. Doesn't dry that fast. And we'll get this end folded over. And we'll get this end folded over. Oops, this one's got a recrease. Okay, where's my thing? Oops. There's a smooth side and a not so smooth side. And if you don't use the smooth side, it kind of catches on the paper. This side has a rougher, sharper edge. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a spatula or something. I don't know. All right, now fold this over. Clip the corners. Try not to tear it this time. Okay. And Okay, so that one is like this. This is a double. You still just wrap a fabric piece around it like you would any of the others. This is the back, and then this is the front ready to be decorated. And then up here, you have a pocket. It's a stiff pocket, but it's a pocket, and it's a heavy-duty pocket. You could put something really nice down in there. So, like, if you made some sort of a small notebook or a traveler's companion notebook, this would fit a notebook. You could stick something nice and heavy down in there. So, that's the one we just made. And then we got these done. So, I was doing this one when you joined me. Okay, and then we did this one, was the first one we did. And then we did this one. And this is one of those ones where you can change orientation. I had this one done. This was my practice run. This was more of a cardstock, so that's a little heavier. Okay, and then just to give you an idea, I have all different sizes of these. I have little ones. These ones are more narrow and taller. Well, no, actually, I don't think they are taller. I think they're still 9 inches, but I think they're only 6 inches wide. Yeah. I think these are all 9 by 6. Or 9 1/4 by 6. So these ones are 9 1/4 by 6. These ones are 9 by 6. These ones are 7 1/2 by 5, maybe? Yeah, 7 1/2 by 5, so little. And then, just as another idea, I took one of these and I glued a piece of cardboard in here to make a harder spine. So that's a more defined spine on that one. And it is still 9 inches tall, but the page length in here now is going to be 5 1/4-ish. So that one has, I just took a piece of a box. This is a piece of a box from probably some frozen food or something. And I just stuck it up the middle there and trimmed it off even with the book. And then there you have like a soft book cover, but with a defined spine. So that's another idea. Just things you can do with your Amazon packaging and some scrapbook paper. So I hope you guys liked this. I will be making a bunch more of these. As you can see, I've cut off some other strips. I thought this would make a really pretty cover. So I will be doing some more of these, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe you'll give it a try. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys in the next 12 by 12 video. Bye-bye.